the next topic, that is master data. Okay, what is master data? Okay, what type of master data we have in material management, and how to configure that one, and how to create the master data, change the master data, block, unblock master data, that we are going to learn in our master data topic. Okay. So I'll go with this slide first. Okay. So as you know, we discussed about there are three types of data in SAP: organizational data, master data, and transaction data. So whatever objects we have created, company code, client, purchasing organization, plant, storage location, purchasing group, sales organization, right? So these are all the organizational data, correct? This is all organizational data. And these are the configuration related activities which consultant will do one time, right? Now, what is a master data? We have another types of data, that is master data and transaction data. So what is a master data and what is a transaction data? Transaction data, any activity, transaction activities, like we are creating purchase order, we are creating sales order, we are making payments. That is all my transaction data. And these are some of the examples we have seen for the transaction data. Now coming to the master data is static data which we create once but change oftenly, right? So every modules will have some types of master data. Like in FI, we have general ledger, GL account, vendor master, customer master, asset master, bank master is the master data. In controlling, profit center, cost center, internal order, WBS elements, these are the master data, right? In warehouse management, storage bin is the master data. In sales and distribution, customer master is the master data, right? In production planning, we have routings, BOM, project system, WBS element is the master data, right? So what is the master data, why it is required, that is the first thing. And what are the different objects, master data objects we have from the material master point of view. So I'll go with this slide. This is master data. So let's take an example. You do not have any master data in your system. Okay. Now you want to create a purchase order, right? You want to purchase something. So what is the main information is required? First is what you want to purchase and to whom you want to purchase, right? What you want to purchase, that means material, right? What material you want to purchase, right? Then whom you want to purchase, that is a vendor, supplier, correct? So let's take an example of supplier. Okay, so we'll take an example of supplier, right? You want to create a purchase order now. You want to create a purchase order now. So when you creating a purchase order, what information you require for the supplier? You need a name of the supplier, right? You need address of the supplier, correct? You need bank details of the supplier because you need to make the payments to the supplier. Any terms and conditions of that supplier for your company code, right? That information is also required. Any payment terms or payment method related information, right? How much days credit he can provide, through which mode he can accept the payment, through check or bank transfer or any other mode of payment he can accept, right? Payment terms, payment methods also are there, correct? So these are some of the basic information we require. Tax code, that is also information. That information also required for the supplier, correct? So now I'm creating a purchase order one, right? What I don't have any master data. What I need to do, I need to provide all this information manually, correct? I need to provide all this information manually. Now again, after 1 week or 2 weeks, I need to create one more purchase order to the same supplier. Then again, I need to provide this much of information. I need to enter this much of information, right? So it is a wastage of time. Second thing, first time when I'm putting a name, I have entered the name as ABC Limited, right? Second time when I entered the name, I have entered name as ABC Private Limited. Okay, so there is an error. There is chances of errors, right? I can make mistakes in the name, address of these values, right? Correct. First thing is that it is a time consuming activities to put all this information for each and every transaction. That is one issue with the master data. Second thing is that I can make an error while entering the data, right? And because of the errors, I will not get the proper details or proper reports from the SAP that for this supplier, how much purchase order we have raised. It is very difficult for me to fetch the reports, right? So instead of this one, due to these issues, it is better to have the master data. What is meant by master data? What I'll do, I will generate one number. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a number. Okay. This number belongs to supplier ABC Limited. Okay. I will put all the address and every information of the suppliers. I will put it here, right, under this number. So this is a master data of that particular supplier. Whenever I want to create a purchase order, what I'll do, I'll just give the reference of this number to my system. What SAP will do, SAP will go and check, okay, this is the supplier. So what is the information belongs to this number? So this is the information belongs to this number. SAP will read that information and bring it, right? So it is saving my time, first thing, correct? Because I do not need to enter all this information every time. What I need to do, I just need to provide this number to in my purchase order. First time this one, another second time I'll just provide the same number, correct? Correct. Okay, so I'll just put my vendor numbers here. I'll just enter my vendor numbers here, and system will bring system will read all the information belongs to that number, correct? So that is one advantage of having master data. So it is saving my time, correct? It is saving my time. Also, there are very less chances of errors. I can easily get the report. I can just put this vendor number. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want to know how many purchase orders I have created in last 6 months for this vendor. I can just pass this number and I can fetch the report because we are using master data. Correct? Now, any changes required. Okay, ABC Limited company has changed their name. Now the name is not ABC Limited, it is ABC Private Limited. What we can do, we can go to this number, we can go to this master data and we can make the changes. ABC Private Limited, right? So my vendor number gets changed here, vendor name gets changed here. I can get the change log of this material, this vendor. When this changed, who has changed, that facility is also there, right? So I get easily information that who has changed this information, why it is changed. All that information we can put it in this master data. So that is one big advantage, that because of the master data, a lot of time will be saved for my transaction activities, right? There are very less chances of errors. Data entry work will be reduced, right? And that is the main advantage of SAP master data, correct? Now, can I wrap this one? I hope it is clear, right? Master data, what is the advantage of master data? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, now let's see what are the different master data we have from point of view. So previously we have discussed some of the master data from FI, CO, WM, SD, PP, PS. Each and every module having some master data. Okay, so what are the different master data we have from point of view? Okay, so we have these many master data. We need to learn these many master data. What are those? Material master, vendor master, purchase info record, source list, service master, and quota arrangement. Okay, so this is a master data from material management point of view. I'll put it here, material management. So material management master data, material master, vendor master, purchase info record, source list, quote, service master, and quota relay. So these are the master data we have from point of view. Okay, we'll start with the vendor master first, and then we'll go with the other master data. Let us see with the vendor master. Okay.
So one question, Mobin.
Yes.
Yeah, generally, whenever we'll set up any material, we do create BOM, master recipe, production version. So just want to know whether those activities comes under master data management, like material management, or those comes under PP.
What you are doing whenever you are creating material master, what you are doing?
We are creating BOM as well, bill of material.
Bill of material.
Master, okay. Yeah, master recipe and production.
Correct. So bill of material, master recipe, and production versions are the master data from the PP set. Production planning point of view. Okay, so if you are doing any subcontracting, or if you are creating any production orders in your system, if you have in-house production facility for your organizations, then the bill of material is the master data from the PP set. That is a separate master data we have.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, so we'll see that one also. We are going to learn bill of material as well. Okay, how we are going to create, because in subcontracting procurement we need to use the bill of material. Okay, now let's start with one of the master data, that is vendor master. What is vendor? What is vendor? Anyone?
Supplier.
Correct. Vendor is nothing but a supplier to whom we are going to procure a material or a service. Correct?
Yes.
So in SAP, normally what are the, whenever we are going to buy something from any particular vendor or supplier, what informations we require? We need name, address, tax code details, right? Communication details, mobile number or telephone numbers, right? Those are some of the important things we require. We also need some bank details of that vendors, right? We need to pay to the vendor, right? Then what are the terms and conditions we have with that vendors? That information we normally require from the vendor master. So how that vendor master is getting created into SAP, okay? How it is going to get, means what are the configuration settings are required, okay? How we can configure the vendor master, and how we can create, change, delete, block, unblock vendor master, that we are going to see now. Okay. So in SAP, vendor is stored into three, vendor is having three levels of data. That is general data. Okay. Second one is company code data, that is finance related data. And third one is purchasing data, that is purchasing order data. So in SAP, vendor is created up to three levels. That is general level, that is client level, company code level, and purchasing organization level. Right? Company code level is nothing but the finance level. Purchasing organization level is nothing but the purchasing organization level, purchasing level. Right? So general level means what? General level means the name of the vendor. Right? Communication details of the vendor. These are general information for each and every customer, right? Name, telephone number, mobile number, fax number, tax code of that vendor. That is a government. Each vendor will have this one GSTN number or one tax number, right? Then bank details of the vendors. Those are some of the general informations which vendor master stores, right? Now, we have two company codes, EG00 and WG00, right? East Germany and West Germany, correct? For vendor X, East Germany, there might be some different terms and conditions, and for West Germany company code, there might be a different company codes, right? So this company code specific information will be stored in a company code data, company code level data. Same, we have two purchasing organization, that is EGPO and WGPO, right? So East Germany purchasing organizations can have different set of terms and conditions with vendor X, and West Germany purchasing organization can have a different set of purchasing terms and conditions for vendor X, with vendor X, right? So this information will be stored at purchasing organization level, right? So in general, in SAP, vendor masters can be created at 3 levels: general level, company code level, and purchasing organization level. Correct? Same thing applies for the customer master data, which is part of SD model. Currently, we are checking only vendor master information, right? Whatever we are going to learn for the vendor master, so same configuration functionality we have for the customer master as well, right? Only some nodes are different, but rest of all the informations, whatever we are discussing for the vendor masters, the same thing applies for the customer masters. Only instead of purchasing organization level, there will be a sales org, because customer is actually storing sales information, right? We are going to sell to the customer. So sales organization informations will be stored for the customer master. Rest general information, company code data will be same. Correct? So when we are learning vendor master information, at the same time, just think that customer having the same settings. Only some nodes and T codes are different, but the functionality will be same for the customer master. Okay. Now let me just grab this one. We will focus on the vendor first. Now, in ECC, we have the vendor master and customer master as a separate objects. Okay, in ECC functionality, we have vendor master as a separate object and customer master as a separate object. In S/4HANA, we have business partner as a functionality. Okay. So in S/4HANA, we are calling it as a business partner. I'll put here as well. I'll keep separate only. Okay. So we are going to learn what is the changes in the S/4HANA from vendor master point of view and customer master point of view. So in ECC, vendor master is a separate object, customer master is a separate object. But in S/4HANA, we have business partner concept. Okay, so instead of creating vendor master and customer master, we are creating business partner in S/4HANA. So what is business partner? What is settings are required? That we are going to learn in our S/4HANA related sessions. Right? Let us focus for the ECC part first. That is our vendor master. Okay. Now, when we are creating vendor for only, means we want to create a vendor only for general level and company code level. That means I just want to maintain general information of the vendor and the finance related information of the vendor. Then I can use T code. One minute. Where is the merge option? Then I can use T code FK01 to create, FK02 to change, FK03 to display. So in SAP, 0 is always creation T code. Okay. 02 is always change T code and 03 is always display T code. Okay. Now, this is our, when we want to maintain, when we want to create a vendor master only for general data and company code data. At that time, we are using this T code. Okay. Now, when we want to create a vendor only for general data and purchasing data, at that time we can use MK01 to create, MK02 to change, and MK03 to display. Okay, there is one more T code, that is, I'm just showing you what are the different T codes we have. Then I will see it in our system as well. Okay. So if I want to create a vendor master only for the general information and company code data, I have separate T code FK0 and FK02, FK03. If I want to create a vendor master only for the general data and company code organization level data, then I can use MK01, MK02 and MK03 T code. If I want to create a vendor master for all three levels, that is general data, company code data, and purchasing organization level, right? In all three levels, if I want to create a vendor master, in that case, I have a T code that is SK01, SK02, and SK03. So based on the activity, we have separate T codes for the vendor master. Okay, one is this one, because this will only allows you to create a vendor master for general and company code level data. Another one is this one. This will allows you to create a vendor master only for the general and purchasing organization level. And third one is this one. That is, you can have an access to create a vendor master for all these level. So you may have a question like, why SAP has provided these many transaction codes, right? If you have a centralized master data team, who is responsible for creating all master data. So to maintain the general data as well as the company code data as well as the purchasing data, they can simply use the SK01, SK02, SK03 transactions, and they can create the vendor masters. This is one scenario where you have centralized master data team, separate master data team is there. Let's take an example. You are part of manufacturing industry and you do not have a separate master data team. Okay, so finance team will update the company code related information and purchasing team will update the purchasing related information for the vendor. Right? So in that case, what happened? I don't want that finance team should check the purchasing related information. They should not have the access for the purchasing related access. Purchasing related team should not have access for the company code related transactions, company code related data. Right? So in that case, how I can control? For finance related persons, I will provide access only for this T code FK0 and FK02, FK03. So anyhow, they can create or change the data only for the general data and company code level. Their department specific information they can change. For purchasing related departments, I can provide access only for these T codes MK01, MK02, MK03. So they can only able to change the data for the general data and the purchasing data. Their purchasing related information only they can create or change, right? So that is the purpose SAP has came up with these many T codes. If you have centralized team, they will simply use this T code to create, change, or display the master data, vendor master. If you have specific, if you do not have the specific team, master data team, then the department specific teams will use their department information. Right, so to control, to give some controls, there are some separate T codes we have. Got it? Clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll show you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any question?
Yes, I just wanted to know, when do we use T code BP?
Okay. So
We use
BP is a
Yeah.
transaction code used in S4HANA. It is nothing but the business partner.
Okay. Okay. Actually, I used to use BP this T code for creating non-PO based and PO based vendor.
Correct. So that is a
Yes,
new
okay.
functionalities we have in S4HANA. Okay. So vendor masters and customer masters. Okay. We do not have the concept like vendor masters and the customer masters in S4HANA. It is simply a business partner. Okay. They will act as a vendor and customer as a business partner in S4HANA. In ECC, we have the two separate objects like vendor master and the customer master. When I'm going to use this transaction in S4HANA, it will throw an error message that it will redirect us to the transaction BP. So we are going to learn this S4HANA BP functionality, business partner functionality. We are going to learn when we are going to start with the S4HANA related topics.
Okay.
So in ECC, we have this concept vendor master and customer masters. The same functionality is merged in S4HANA and it is called as a BP, business partner.
Okay. Okay.
I'll just show you these T codes FK0 and FK02, MK0 and MK03 and SK0 and SK03 in SEC systems. Okay. So let me go to, I'll put the /n here. Okay. This is my SAP window. Okay. Now just see. If I put FK01, what system is asking me? Create vendor accounting. That means company code related information, we can create it. Right? So it is asking me only the vendor information and company code. You cannot see the purchasing organization here. correct?
Yes.
That means FK01 will only allow me to create a vendor at general level and company code level. If I use transaction code MK01, okay, then system will allow me to create a vendor for general level as well as the purchasing organization level. It is not a company code level. Company code you cannot see it here, right? That means with MK01 we can create a vendor at general level and the purchasing organization level only, right? And now with T code SK01, I put XK01 here, you can see I can create a vendor at general level, I can create at company code level, I can create at purchasing organization level as well. So system is giving me all three information here, correct? And that is the difference between these three T codes. I hope it is clear. Sometimes in interviews they will ask these questions. What is the difference between FK01 and MK01 or SK01? Fine. Our meetings will be ended in a minute. Let us rejoin and we will see how the vendors are getting created and what is the configuration setup is required.
Okay.
So we are discussing about the vendor master, right? And let me go to the master file. Okay. So let me create one vendor master. So it will give you some impression about how the vendor masters are getting created or changed. So let's take an example. I'm creating a vendor master for with T code SK01. Okay. So first, here I need to give my vendor name. For example, let me take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm giving it number. Okay. Then for which company code I want to create this vendor? I want to create it for the EG00 company code. What is my purchasing organization? My purchasing organization is EGPO. So I'm just giving some information here. And what is my account group? So account group is a concept in vendor masters. We are going to discuss about that one. What is account group and all. Okay. So I'm just giving one account group here. Let me F4 and see. So I'm just trying to give some account group here as ZGOD. Okay. I'm trying to put enter. It should throw me an error message. Let's see. So it is giving me an error message that account group ZGOD uses internal number assignment, leave number blank. So we are trying to create a vendor. It is saying that you do not need to provide a vendor number. System will generate a vendor number for you. So there is a number as number ranges, internal number and external numbers, which we are going to discuss in a configuration part. So I'm just keeping that vendor number as a blank and I will put enter. Okay. So as soon as I will press enter, it will take me to the first screen of the vendor master and ask me to update the name, address of the vendor. So it is asking me what is the name of the vendor. So I'll put some name here. Salim Private Limited. Okay. Street 1. House 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. City will be Berlin. Anything. That vendor information, vendor's address details I'm putting. This is all general information, vendor's address information, right? Country D. I can update the telephone number, mobile number, fax, email details here, right? Then I'll press enter. It will take me to the next page. That is a control data. Here I can put the vendor's tax details, tax related information, right? Industry related informations. So those are the informations we can put it here. This is also general information, right? Vendor general information. Then I can press enter. It will take me to the bank details. What is the bank key, bank account number, who is the account holder name, right? So those all informations, IFSC code and all, everything we can put it here. right? So these are all bank information of the vendors. We can update it here. We are going to see that one, everything. I'll press enter. It will take me to the contact person. So who is the contact person from the vendor sides on this one, right? So that information we can put it here. Then these 4 tabs are related to the general information, right? These 4 tabs are related to general information. This information is specific to all company code, all purchasing organization, right? Now I press enter. It will take me to the accounting related information. And if you see here, it will ask me that we are creating this vendor for company code EG00, right? So whatever data we are filling it here, this belongs to this vendor and company code EG00. So this is a company code specific informations we are entering. What is a reconciliation account? So I'll just put some reconciliation account, that is 160000 something. Let me F4. I have one domestic related reconciliation account. I will use that one. What is reconciliation account and all we are going to see. Okay. And then some of the other accounting related fields are there from the vendor masters, right? Press enter. It will ask me. It will take me to the payment terms. Payment terms means, so if vendor is giving invoice today, so after how many days you will pay to the vendor, right? If the vendor is giving you invoice today, then within 14 days, within 30 days, within 45 days, I am going to pay. So that terms and conditions we are going to maintain it here. Within 14 days, 3% cash discount, right? Within 60 days, within 10 days. So how many days? So that payment terms we need to update it here. I'm going to immediately pay to the vendor, right? So that information we can fill it here. Payment method, in which mode we are going to pay, whether we are going to pay through check, through internet banking, through bank transfer, okay, through cash, how we are going to pay to the vendor, that also information we can put it here. This payment terms and payment methods will be configured by our finance consultant. Okay. We'll see that one, how that is going to configure. Press enter. It will take me to the dunning related process. So if vendor is not paying us, then how we are going to remind him. So this dunning process is nothing but the reminder process. Okay. So if you want to send any remittance advance advice to our vendors, who will be the contact person? So from vendor side, what is an email address, clerk's email address, their accounting department's email address, and fax numbers, everything we can put it here. Okay, so for remittance purpose, we are using this information. Press enter. It will take me to the purchasing related information. Now, if you see, this is purchasing data, and now it is not asking me company code, it is asking purchasing related. So whatever informations we are going to store in this page, it is related to this vendor and belongs to this purchasing organization, right? What is the order currency for this purchasing organization? It might be euro, it might be INR. So that we need to put it here. Let me take euro only. Okay. Payment terms, shipping terms and conditions, that is INCO terms, right? And there are some other fields. These are very important for data. So we are going to see each and every fields of this one. What is the importance of these check boxes? What is the importance of these fields? Because this is purchasing related information, so important from side. So we are going to see this one. Okay. Then press enter. It will ask me to the partner functions. Partner function is a concept we have. We are going to see that one also. And press enter. It will ask me to save the vendor masters. As soon as I will save it, that vendor information is getting stored. That vendor number is getting generated. So whatever informations we have stored, that will be stored under one number. Let it be saved first. Okay, so if you see, this vendor is created, vendor master is created with number 100005. Right? This is the number of the vendor, and it is created for company code EG00 purchasing organization EGPO. So let me copy this number. So now this is a master data, vendor master. What is vendor master? That is vendor number 100005 is a vendor master, which belongs to Salim Private Limited. If I go to the SK03, I can see all this information. This is my Salim private limited informations, right? All informations will be stored here. So if I want to create any purchase order, I'll just provide this information to my SAP system. System will go and read all these informations under this number. What are information we have stored in this one. Okay. Company code information, purchasing organization related information, every information related to this vendor will be stored here under this number. Right, and this is called as a master data. This is a vendor master. Clear? How the vendor master is getting created?
Yes. One
Basic.
small question. So,
Yes.
for, while creating a vendor account, you have entered some custom account group, some Z005. So, who will define those account group? Is it a FI team or
Okay.
PP
Ideally,
or MS?
yeah, ideally vendor configuration belongs to FI. Okay, but sometimes because vendor is finance, vendor configuration will be done by finance team. But vendor is very important from MM side. So sometimes that means MM consultant can also configure these vendor masters. Okay, but the main configuration belongs to FI only. The account group creations and everything will be part of FI.
Yeah, so I believe like SAP will provide some standard account groups.
Yes,
And
we are
apart
going
from
to
that,
yes,
if we do some custom, go FI.
configuration and all we are going to see now. Okay, I'm just explaining how the vendor is getting created. Means how the screens looks like for the vendor. Okay.
Okay.
Now we will configure our own account group, the number ranges and everything. We are going to see that. So, okay, any question and queries related to vendor creations? How the vendor screen looks like? Why SAP is storing information into 3 different levels, that is general level, company code level, purchasing level. Is it clear? The idea of this general level data, company code level data, and purchasing organization level data, and the different T codes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Okay. Now we will see how the configuration will be done for the vendor master. Okay. So let me just put something here. So we'll see the configuration part of the vendor master. Okay, so this is a basic idea we have learned about the vendor master, right? These are the T codes we have, and this level vendor is getting stored. Now, who is doing the configuration of the vendor master? Ideally, this should be done by the finance consultant, and normally finance consultant will configure the vendor masters. So they will understand how many types of vendors they have, and accordingly they will configure those many vendors. Their number ranges, their account groups, and everything they will configure. Okay. So, but sometimes it is MM consultant will also get a chance to configure this vendor master, right? Because normally MM team will use vendor masters for their day-to-day activities, for the purchase order and everything, right? But ideally it should be done by the FI. That is one thing. Okay. Now, what is the configuration in vendor masters, right? What is the what are the different configurations we need to do in vendor masters? Okay, that we are going to learn now. When I was creating a vendor, after I saved it, it gave me one number. Correct? How system gave me this number? Why the number is starting with 1 only? It should be start with 3. It can be start with 5, right? So this is a configuration setting. Functional consultant will decide how the numbers are getting generated for the vendors. Right? Then when I was creating a vendor, I will go again back. When I'm creating a vendor, if you see, there are some fields which are mandatory. That means the name field is a mandatory. If I need to save it, I need to enter information in this field. That means some fields are mandatory, some fields are optional, some fields might be in display mode, grayed out mode, only for information purpose. Some fields are hide, right? So how we can configure, how we can make some fields mandatory, some fields in optional mode, some fields in display mode, or some fields in a hide mode. That is also a configuration activity. Okay, functional consultant has to do that. Okay. So these are the configuration related activities we have for the vendor master. We are going to learn now that one. Okay. So when I'm creating a vendor master, if you see, The vendor number is the one part that is general information. Company code is there. We have configured company code, right? We have configured purchasing organization, right? Organization as well, right? So these three are we are aware. But what is this account group? What is meant by account group? That we are going to see now. If you have any questions, queries, or if you want me to repeat, please feel free to ask me. Okay, I'll repeat it. I hope it is getting
One
clear.
question, Mohammed.
Yes, yes.
Just related to vendor material number range. So can
Vendor
we
ma-
assign material number range for vendor, or
Okay.
it's done by the FI team?
Okay, so vendor material number is some vendor part number you are saying, right?
Yes, what we created at now 10005 is a number for that particular vendor. So
Correct.
is there any means? Are we going to learn how we can set a number range for a vendor?
Currently, we are going to discuss about the vendors number ranges only. How we are going to configure that one. Okay, so vendor part number, if you are saying, that is a different concept. Vendor material number. Okay, what is the number range belongs to the vendor side. That material information from the vendor side. That is a different thing. Vendor masters, how we are going to create, how we are going to define the number ranges, that we are learning now. Did I address your question?
Yes, yes.
Okay, fine. So we'll see that one. Okay, so vendor part number also I'll explain you what is meant by vendor part number and what is the vendor master. So complete vendor master informations, how we can configure the field selection. That means which field we can make is hide or optional or mandatory, and what are the different number ranges we are going to set up. Okay, sometimes it start with 1, sometimes it start with 3. How it is configured, that we are going to learn. Okay, so there is one concept called account group. Okay, so in vendor master or customer master, account group is a main object through which we can control all the setup of the vendor master. So this is the main key thing, account group, through which all the configurations will be handled. What is meant by account group? Account group is nothing but types of vendor. What type of vendor you have? Okay, account group nothing but types of vendor. What type of vendor you have? So just a normal scenario, if we discuss, what type of vendors we can have in our organization, day-to-day organizations? What are the different types of vendors we can have? Any idea?
Yeah, we can have ordering vendor, we can have
Ordering vendors.
shipping vendor,
Okay, shipping vendors.
we
Right.
can
Now service vendors, raw materials vendors,
Okay.
paying vendor.
UV materials.
Okay. Simple. If in simple terminology, if I have my business, I can normally, okay, Sudesh, your video is on. Sudesh, your video on. Okay, fine. Okay, so in normally, if I have a company, I normally categorize my vendor into 2 parts. What is my local vendors? What is my foreign vendors? Correct? Correct? It is a category, right? You are categorizing my local vendors and my foreign vendors. Possible, right?
Yeah,
I can have vendors who are only providing goods. Right? I can have vendors who can only providing services. Okay? I can have vendors who are giving their land for me to use it. So I'm taking their land on a rent basis. So those are the landlords. Possible, right? If I have, suppose I have telecom industry, I need to set up a tower, right? So what I'll do, I will take farmers or particular person's land on a rent basis, and I'll set up my tower. So I need to pay to that vendor on a monthly basis. That rent I need to pay it, right? Correct. So that type of vendors are also there. Correct. Any other example?
But landlord will be a customer, right?
How can be a customer? For us, it will be
We are
vendor,
going-
right? We are going to pay to the vendor. We are going to pay to that landlord.
Okay, okay. From that
Landlord is
perspective.
providing his land to us to use. Okay, or let's take in a shopkeeper. Okay, there is a builder who has provided his shop to us on a rent basis. So we are using his shop and we are paying him on a rent for every month. So he is a vendor for me, right?
Correct.
So landlord will be a vendor for me. Anything else? Any
Yeah,
other
one time,
vendors?
one time vendors also we can have.
Correct. One-time vendors. I'll come to that one-time vendor as well. Apart from that one,
Food provider vendor.
food provider. Yes, food provider can be a category that can be considered sometimes as a service vendor. Yes, material wise also vendors, but normally we are not categorizing material wise vendor because one vendor can provide raw material as well as finished product, right? So normally we are not categorizing that type of vendors, raw material or finished product related vendors. An employee can also be a vendor.
Yes.
How?
How we process the salary, their details, all the details
Salary is
be
not
captured in
something-
SAP.
Okay. Salary is not something actually pay to the vendor, right? To pay to the vendors, correct? Salary is something HR related activities, which is HR information. Correct?
Employee
But
provides the
normally-
services.
Those who gets hired on third party, something like we
Yes. So
create a
third
vendor.
party, yes, third party employees to whom we need to pay, or the consultancy firms to whom we need to pay. For that point of view, we need to create an employee as a vendor master. Second thing, employee is going to on-site, right? Or they might have some hotel booking or some activities for that particular employees we need to do. So we need to create employee as a vendor master, and we need to do that activity. Right? We need to purchase something for that vendor, for that particular employee. So employees also can be a vendor sometimes. Okay. Then one-time vendor. One-time vendor means with whom we are going to do one-time business. What is mean by one-time business? I have office party. I don't want to create any purchase order for that one. Right? What I want to do? I want to one-time book a hotel. After finishing that activity, I don't want to create a separate master data for that particular hotel, for that particular service. I will use the service, I will pay as a one-time vendor and close it. That's it. So
Yeah.
that can be considered as a one-time vendor. So these many types of vendors we can have, right? So these are nothing but the account groups. Okay. Normally, if you have the big organizations, which actually plays a role in global markets, which expand their business into different countries. So then we are not using these terms, local vendor and foreign vendor, because for India might be XYZ vendors, for India might be a local vendor, right? But for China, it will China company code, it will be a foreign vendor. So normally we are avoiding local vendor and foreign vendor concept in that case. Okay. So if your business is globally expanded, so we are avoiding this local vendor and foreign vendor terminology. But if it is your business is only within India, then we can use this terminology, local vendors and foreign vendors, right? Because all the company codes belong to India only in that case. So what we'll do, we'll use this terminology: goods provider, service provider, and landlord, employee, and one-time vendor. Okay. Okay. Now I'll show you some of the account groups. So if I F4 here, so if you see 001 to this KRED, you can see these are all standard account groups available into system, right? Vendors, goods supplier, alternative payee, invoice presented by, forwarding agent, ordering address, plans, special vendors, hierarchy notes, one-time vendor. Okay. Then lender, employees. These are all types of vendors, different types of vendors available in SAP. Standard SAP already providing these account groups. So if you can use these groups, that is good. But if you think that no, I don't want to use these account groups. I want to use my own account groups. I want to create my own account groups or own types of vendors. Then we can customize our own account groups. We can configure our own account groups. Okay. So we can create our own account groups here. Now, account group is a 4-digit number. It is alphanumeric key. It can be 1000, 2000, 3000, 4000, 5000, that type of account group key we can create. Or else we can use alphanumeric key as well. Normally, what SAP recommends, if you are configuring anything new into SAP, use means create that particular activity starting with key Z. Okay, so Z should be start. So you can easily get to know, okay, this is customized activity, customized thing, which is done in only for our client. Right. So if you are configuring anything or if you are customizing anything, use character Z. So that is a customized things we have done for our client. Okay. So I'll give some name here. I can give ZGOD, that is goods provider. ZSER. Some naming conventions I'm giving for my account group. Right. ZLAN. ZEMP. Okay. Z1, that is one time vendor. Okay. Plant also can be a vendor, right? I have two plants. One is Berlin, one is in Halle. Right? Berlin plants have some materials which required by Halle plants. So instead of procuring materials from outside, I can procuring from inside within my plant, right? So plant to plant transfer is also there. So plant can be also treated as a vendor. Am I correct?
Yes, this is for
Yes. Stock transfer.
intra-company transfer.
Yes.
Normally,
Stock transfer.
if we do some transaction within company,
Yes.
that will treat it as intra-company transfer.
Yes.
And
So stock transfer, we can say simply, right? So stock transfer we can do within the plant. So plant can also be treated as a vendor, right? So I'll use that one also. So this type of, let's take an example. Our ABC manufacturing company or our client is having this many types of vendors. So we have decided, okay, these many account groups we need to create. We are not going to use standard account groups. We want to create our own account groups. Okay. Now, let's take an example. We have configured these account groups and we have created vendors as well. Okay. We have created vendors as well. There are millions of vendors available in my system now. Okay. Client has provided me one Excel file with the data. One is vendor number. Okay. Vendor name, address. Okay. And bank details. Okay. We have millions of vendors in our systems now. Okay. Client has provided these 4 information in Excel file for all the vendors, and he is asking me, tell me which are the goods provider vendors are, which are the service provider vendors, which are the landlords in this millions of vendors. Okay, so we need to categorize. How we can categorize? Anyway,
Account group.
we don't have account group in Excel, right? We have only these 4 information.
vendor number, like number ranges can be
by
defined.
defining, yes,
Yes,
number
yes,
ranges.
yes. So that is means in that case, we should have a separate number range for each account group. A goods provider vendor should start with series 1000000. For example, this is a series 100 5 times 0 to 199999. A service provider vendor should start with 2 series. 200000. Sorry, 299999. Okay. A landlord should start with 3. an employee vendor should start with 4. And one-time vendor should start with A to ZZZ. Alpha numbers I can also use. Okay. Same plant vendors can start with A to ZZZ. It's the same number range I'm giving for these two account groups. That is also possible. I can use the same number range for all the account groups, or I can have separate number range for each account groups. That is also possible, right? So what I'm doing here, I'm giving some number ranges here, right? So these are my types of vendors. This is the account groups I have decided, and this account group will follow this number range. So now in this Excel file, whatever Excel file provided the client, I can easily filter, right? Any vendors which is start with 1 is my goods provider. Any vendor which is start with 2 is my service provider. Correct? So I can easily segregate now. Correct? Now you got it. What is the use of number ranges having the different number ranges? With the different number ranges, you can easily identify. Correct? Now, there is a concept of internal number range and external number range. What is meant by internal number range and what is meant by external number range? Internal number range means system will provide me the vendor number. A user or the person who is creating vendor will not have any controls to decide the number of the vendor while creating. Okay, system will not allow us to interfere here. That is my internal number range. So if I'm creating a vendor, and suppose let's take an example, this is my internal number range. Okay. In that case, the first vendor will be created with number 100000. The next vendor will be created, that is a next subsequent number, that is 100001. The next number will be 10002. Like that one, in systematically, system will assign one number from their side, from system side. Okay. So that is my internal number range. What is meant by external number range? External number range means I will give a number to the system and system will create a vendor with that number. For example, if I want to create a vendor for plant EBER, what I'll do, I'll give some IC-EBER. That number I'll give it to the vendor, and that number I'll give it to the system, and system will create with that number. This is my external number range. You got it? So we need to decide for which account group we want to have the external number range, and for which account we want to have internal number range. Clear? So what I decided, okay, for these 4 account groups, I want to have internal number range. For these 2 account groups, I want to have external number range. Right?
So just one quick question. So
Yes.
can we have number ranges as a free text, rather than defining numbers from 1 to 100 or whatever it is?
No,
If
we
we'll
have
keep
to
it
define
as-
the number.
keep it as free.
We have to define a number range, okay, and we have to decide whether it is internal or external. If it is a free text, give A to ZZZZ, and that will be external. Then it will become a free text.
Okay.
Okay, I'll show you how it will show, how it will work.
Even number ranges can be alphanumeric, right?
Yes, it's alphanumeric. I can create a vendor with A1, A2, A3 like that. This is our blueprint only. What we are defining is a blueprint only. We are deciding what type of vendors we have, okay, and accordingly we are deciding what number ranges we should follow, right, and what will be the number, what is the account group name, number ranges, and whether it will follow internal number range or external number range. Right? Now we have decided our complete vendor structure. Let us configure. Let's see how it will be configured. Right? I'll go to the SAP screen. I need to configure something. what I will use?
02.
SPRO.
What
SPRO.
02? What is mean by 02?
Hey, not by mistake.
Okay, not a problem. Okay, so we have keyword SPRO, right? Through which we can do every configuration. So I'll use SPRO. I'll go to the SAP project reference object, SAP reference IMG. Then vendor master is a part of financial accounting. So I'll go to the financial accounting. Okay. Now, what is vendor? Vendor is accounts payable. Customer is accounts receivable, right? You might be heard. Right?
Yes.
We have to pay to
Yes.
the vendor, that is accounts payable. We are going to receive money from the customer, so that is accounts receivable. Correct? So vendor master, customer masters, and asset accounting is a sub ledgers actually in the finance side. Right? So vendor is accounts payable and customer is the accounts receivable. So we need to go to the node accounts payable and accounts receivable. The complete configuration I'll put it here. Okay. Then if you want to configure customer master, you need to go to the customer master information. If you want to configure vendor masters, you need to go to the vendor master information. So I'll go to the vendor master here. Okay. Now I'll go to the master data. What I need to do, I need to configure the account group. So I'll go to the preparation for creating vendor master. What I need to do, I need to create my account groups, define account groups for screen layer. So I'll click here. Okay, so you can see we have these many account groups. Whatever we have seen in SK01 is nothing but this list only. How this list is coming? This list is coming from this configuration only. Right? This is nothing but this existing account groups only. So I need to create my own account groups. So this ZZOD is already created in my systems. So I'll not create this one. I'll go with second account group. I'll show you how this second account group will be created. Okay. So what I need to create? ZSCR. What is the number range? This number range. So I will go to the create new entries. What is my account group? ZSER. What is the name of my account group? He is a service provider. So the description also I'm giving it here. So the account group name and account group descriptions I'm providing. Is it a one-time vendor? No, right? It's not a one-time vendor. So if it is not a one-time vendor, I will keep it blank. If it is one-time vendor, I need to select this option. Clear? How system will identify whether it is one-time vendor or not? It is based on this checkbox. So this vendor account group is not a one-time vendor account group. So I'll keep it blank. Okay. Now, here if you see, we have field status. Am I audible, right? And is it clear
Yes.
to all?
Yes.
Yes, you are audible.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay. So what we did, we have provided vendor account group, we have provided the descriptions. Now here we have something called field status. Field statuses means which field should be mandatory, which field should be optional, which field should be display, which field should be in hide mode. So if you see, we have three types of data: general data, company code data, and purchasing data. I will double click on the general data. It will show me all the tabs of general data: address, communication, control, payment transaction, and contact person. I will double click on the address. So we have these many fields, right? So which fields we want as a mandatory, that is required, which field should be optional, which field should be displayed, we can configure from here. So what I want, the name one of the vendor should be mandatory. So a person has to enter the name of the vendor. So it should be a mandatory, right? Then the name 2 field can be optional. The name 3 and 4 can be in display. Okay. So I can configure these field statuses. Which field should be mandatory, which field should be optional, which field should be hide. Suppress means hide. Okay. Now I'll show you 1 minute. I'll open the SK01. So this is my name 1. This is my name 2. This search term. search term field, currently it is optional, right? I want to make it as a display. Let me make it as a display. So where is the search term?
Third,
Third.
third, third.
I'm sharing my screen. So we are discussing about the field selections. right?
Search term.
Yes. So search term, I want to make it as a display. Okay. Then any other fields? This PO box, I don't want this PO box field, right? So what I will do,
Suppress.
yes, so I will make it suppress. So the PO box field, I will make it as a suppress. So whichever field selections are required according to the business criteria, when we are discussing with business, we need to use that one, and accordingly we need to make the field either suppress, required, optional, or display. Once you're done with this address tab, click next, communication tab. Whether the email address, fax, telephone number, any fields we need to make it mandatory or optional or display or suppress. We need to take particular action on these fields. Next, control tab. Same thing we need to do with these many fields. Next, bank details. Same things we need to do with these fields. Next, contact person. Same things we need to do with these fields. Right? Once we're done with this general data, we need to go with I'll go back and I'll click on the company code data. So company code data, we have 4 tabs. First, account. So reconciliation account, I want this field as a mandatory. Rest all fields, I will keep it as a optional. Next, terms of payment. Payment terms, I want it as a mandatory. Payment method also, I want it as a mandatory. Rest all fields, I want to keep it as a optional or suppress or display. Okay. Same for the Dunning related correspondence information, right? Same for the withholding tax. So all these informations I will update it accordingly. Once I'm done with the company code related informations, I will go back and I will configure for the purchasing related information. For purchase order currency will be mandatory field. Rest all field will be the optional for now. Okay. If business is asking to make some fields optional or hide or mandatory, we can apply that settings from here for that particular field. Okay. So I'm just doing it. I'll keep every fields as optional. Just few fields I'm keeping as a mandatory for the testing purpose. Okay. Once I'm done with the field selections, I will save it. So what I did, I have created my account group. So this is done. I have created my account group as a service provider. Now what I need to mention, I need to mention that this number range, right? So I need to create a number range. How I can create a number range? Here only in configurations, I will go back, right? And here we have options. Create number range for vendor account. Can you see this one? Create number range for vendor account. So I'll use this node.
Yes.
Okay, I'll use this node, and here I'll click on change interval. If you see, we already have some number range here, right? So we cannot use the existing number range. What we need to do, we need to create our own new number ranges. So what is my number range? I'm giving some serial number here. So let me put a serial number as X1. Okay. So some number, serial number, I'm giving it here. What is my number range? It's starting with 2000000 to 299999. But that number is already used here. So what I'll do, I'll just use some extra number, 6 times 0. I will use 200000. 6 times 0 I'm using 2999999. 6 times 9, right? So I used some different number. I will put the same thing here in Notepad as well. 0, 9. Extra 0 and extra 9 I'm using. Maximum 10 digit we can create. 10 digit number or alphabets we can create it here. So what I did, I have creating a number range which starts from number this to this. Okay, is it my internal number range or external number range? It is my internal number range, right? That means system is going to provide me the numbers, right? So if it is internal number range, keep this checkbox as unchecked. If it is external, then only select this option. Got it? So this is my internal number range. I will keep it as a blank. Clear this one?
Yes.
Yes.
Then press enter. It is showing that number is already overlapped. Let me see where it is overlapping. So that 2 series number is also there with P2. I'll put one more extra 0.
My 70 already is there.
No. P37, right? Where that number coming from? So, so is 5.
07. Go down. Not this one. No.
So can't we use some alphabet to have unique number ranges?
So we can use
Like
that
a
one.
2,
Yeah, we can use that one
something
also.
like
P2.
Which one?
P2. P2.
No, P2 is having 2, 7, right? 7 zeros are there. I was using 6 zeros, right? 2,
That's 7.
I was using 6 zeros. 2, 3, 6. Here also 6
Instead of
zeros.
putting, sorry to interrupt you. Instead of putting 0, can't we put other digit like 8, 9, something like that?
We can put. I'm just showing that error as well. What errors we will
Okay.
face it here. So it is showing me interval already available. Already available means that number whichever we are giving is already used somewhere. Okay, I need to identify where. If you see here, it is already used 03. But this is 5 digit, right? Somewhere it is used, I need to identify where it is. This is 7.
We can delete the existing one which is not in use.
We can delete it, but I'm just checking why it is giving me error message.
Because more than this error now I am also getting on Infi network.
That's fine. What I'll do, I'll just put some number as 2009 9 times 9 9 times 2 9 times 0. The complete number range I will use it here. Let me try. Oh, that interval x1 is created. Let me see, x1 is there. Oh, sorry.
Yes, sir.
That
X1
x1
is
is there. That was
X1.
the issue. Sorry. So 6-digit number is correct. Okay.
X we need to replace with some.
X1 needs to be replaced with other. Okay, so I'm giving 6-digit number only. Okay. So instead of x1, let me give some
Y1.
q1 or y1. Fine. Y1. Okay, press OK. So my number range is created here. You can see y1 with 2 6 times 0 to 9 times 6 times 9, right? So that number I have created here. Save. So it will give me message transport number range. We are not transporting number range from one system to another system. Okay. So this y1 is created. So what we did, we have created our
We created a number
account
ranges.
group. We have also created number range. How system know that this number range belongs to this account group? So we need to assign our account group with this number range, right? So that activity we need to follow. And how we can do that one? We'll go back. We have option here, assign number range to vendor account group. Can you see this one? Assign number range to vendor account group. I will for here. I will identify my account group. These are some errors you will get it. Just ignore, remove that number range assignment. So ZSCR. Where is ZSCR? Here, right? So we need to assign our number range here. So that y1 we need to assign here, this number range, right? So this way we are saying to system that my account group ZSCR is following 200000 related number range. You got it? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
Mobile.
yes,
Yes.
we-
Yes,
So,
yes.
So
now
one
let us,
small question.
yes, yes.
Suppose if we have created number ranges and we have defined number as well, and post creation or assign, defining number ranges, if someone has created vendor master as well, but later on if we'll realize like the number ranges, there are some issues with the number ranges and we need to change that. So is it possible to modify my
Yes.
vendor code which has already been created?
No, the existing vendor codes we cannot modify. We have to set the deletion flag for that particular vendor. Okay. And then we need
Okay.
to change the number range and recreate those vendors.
Okay, so any incorrect material, any incorrect master data that need
That
to
needs
be
to
set
set as a deletion.
deletion. Okay. So
Setting
we
a
cannot
deletion of
delete.
vendor.
Sorry.
Sorry. Deepak, go ahead.
Yeah. So so as such, like even if we'll have all the authorization of configuration, we cannot delete any data completely from the system. Is it?
In SAP, there is no concept called delete. Okay, we can have the deletion flag. Deletion flag means we are inactivating that particular record. The database will always have that information.
Yeah,
But we are making it as a
what does mean by
inactive.
archiving? What does mean by archiving? Archiving something like which can be removed.
Yes, which can be removed.
We can say like.
We can see that is archiving data also we can see. Okay, that means we have make that that record as a inactive, and now we are archiving. Archiving means it is not in use anymore. Okay, so that point of view we are archiving that information. But in SAP normally we are setting deletion flag to make it as an inactive.
Okay.
Okay, we have Abdul Rahman's hands raised. Okay, yes, Abdul Rahman. Hello, Abdul Rahman. Any question? We cannot hear you. Hello, Abdul Rahman, we cannot hear you. You can type your question as well. Really
It
sorry.
seems I am facing.
Now you are audible.
Yeah, so I was talking about when you told about internal or external
Number range.
range, correct? So, yeah, so there were one E column top of that selection. So what is that E?
Yes, I'll tell you. So if my number range following internal number ranges, this option should be not checked. So if this is not checked, that means this number range is the internal number range. If this option is checked, that means this number range is external number range. You got it? What is meant by internal number range? Internal number range means user will not control the number ranges. System will create the first number with 100000. The next number system will generate with 100001. The next number will be 100002. Like that one in a sequence, system will allocate the number. But in external number range, what I can do? I can create first vendor as 300500. Then I can create a vendor with 325123. Then I can create a vendor with 300000. So I can provide a number to the system and system will create a number accordingly. That is my external number range. So if I want to use external number range, I can select this option. If I want to use internal number range, I should deselect this option. Clear?
That was clear to me, but very silly question. Like, what is the mean of column name E? Like, so remembering purpose.
Okay.
On
So how
SAP
system
screen,
decide?
yeah.
How system knows that whether it
Yeah,
is
yeah.
internal number range or external number range? It is based on this column.
Yeah, yeah.
Is nothing but a external. No? Okay.
How system knows that this account group following internal number range or external number range, or this number range is internal number range or external number range? It is because of this column, this setting. Got it, Abdul Rahman?
Yes, yes. Yeah, got it.
Fine. So we have just configured one account group and number range. Let us test it. Let me create a vendor. How I can create a vendor? XK01. I'll go here. Let me put my
Mubin,
vendor number.
Mubin, one.
Yes.
Deepak asked the question, but I didn't get that correct answer. But
Sorry, your voice
just-
is little low for me. Can you repeat?
yes, one question asked. Deepak asked a question about the vendor range. If we selected a vendor range from 2 times 9, whatever. So if I created a vendor 5 times 01, 5 times 02, 3 or 4 vendor I have created in a system. And after that, I realized that I need to change that range for particular vendor. So we said that we can delete that vendor and we can
Yeah.
change the number range.
So what we need to do here?
Changing a number range will impact on the existing vendor also, or we need to create a new vendor.
Okay, I'll tell you. So whatever vendors you have created, set the deletion flag for those vendors. That means make those vendors as a inactive. First thing. Second thing, you need to create your new number range. Whatever number range you want for that particular account group, accordingly you need to create your new number range. And that new number range you need to assign to your account group here. So whichever new vendors you are going to create, that will follow your new number range, which is assigned here. Got it?
Yes. So in this case, I need to create a new vendor again for the new range.
Yes, yes.
We cannot
So
use
whatever
the
is-
existing.
yes. So existing, because
Okay.
they are following the wrong number ranges, and you don't want to mess up in your reporting point of view. Better to deactivate those existing vendors and create a new numbers with the new vendors with the new numbers. Anyway, this is master data only, right?
Yes, we can do copy paste easily.
But client do not have any concern with the number ranges normally. Okay.
Yes, better we properly define the
Yes.
number range.
So internally only, means initially only, it is better to decide what number ranges we need to use and accordingly configure it. Right? Okay, so we have just created a vendors account group. Let us test it. Let me create a vendor. So I'll go to the SK01. Okay, what number I have created? 2 6 times 0, right? I'm giving my vendor number here. What is my company code? My company code is EG0. What is my purchasing organization? My purchasing organization is EGPO. What is my account group? My account group is ZSER, which I have created. So I'm giving it here, right? I'm entering now. What it is saying? Account group ZACR uses internal number assignment, leave number blank. That means I should not provide number range to it to the system. System is going to decide which number needs to be created. Clear? The use of internal number range and external number range.
Yeah, one question. If I use different number apart from that 2 lakh, if I use 3 lakh at that time,
Let me
3,
show
4
you.
times.
Let me give another number and try to create. It will give the message account group ZACR uses internal number range. Leave number branch. System will not accept any number in this field. Okay.
And if I
And if
set
it is
as
external, okay, if it is external, that number should be belongs to this number range. So if I'm giving external number range, then that number should be belongs to this number range only. If I am giving any other number, it will throw error message that whatever numbers we have decided for the external number range, it is not belong to that number range. Got it? I'll show you that error as well. Okay, for one of the account group, we'll configure the external number range and I'll try to create a vendor account for that. Okay. Can I go ahead with this test now? Hello?
Yes, yes, you can.
So what I'll do, I'll just press enter now. So as soon as I press enter, you can see the name one field is mandatory. The search term field is display mode. It is because of the configuration we did, right? Got it? The use of that field selection to make the field in display mode, to make the field in mandatory, we use that configuration for the account group. So I'm giving my vendor name here, Amol Limited. I'll put my country here as well. I'll put my street 1, H1, postal code is 12345, Berlin. I'm trying to give, if you see name 3, name 4 is also in display mode now, because we have put that in a display mode. Correct? Only name 1 is in mandatory. Name 2 is optional. Name 3, name 4 is in display mode. Search term is also in display mode, right? So whatever field selections we have did, accordingly it is behaving. It is only for account group ZACR. If I show you account group ZGOD, if I go and create a vendor for ZGOD, so if you see, the search term is not in display mode because this ZGOD is following different settings than the ZACR. Got it? So this is account group specific setting, field selection, right? Press enter. I'll go to the next page. I can fill all the information here. Press enter. I will fill all the information in the bank related information here. I can enter contact person related information here. Then the account group field is a mandatory now. I have to enter my account group here, reconciliation account. Okay. I'll press enter. The payment terms field will be mandatory now. I have to enter my payment terms here. I have to enter my payment methods. That is mandatory. I'll put one of the payment method for the time being. Dunning procedure. If you see the purchasing related information, order currency is mandatory. Press enter. Press enter. System is asking me whether you want to save it. I want to save it. I will press save. As soon as I press save, system will generate the number. If you see the first number, it is generated with 2 lakh 2000000, because this is number range we have decided. I want to create one more account, one more number. Sorry, one more vendor. I'll press enter. I will put my details here. Okay. I'm just filling all the mandatory information for the time being for the testing purpose. Okay. And I'll try to save it. So now the next number which is created is a 2001, which is for the Praveen Limited. Amol Limited having number 20000. Praveen Limited having number 200001. So system is deciding now number. So the next subsequent number system will use to create a next number. If I go to the number range now, I'll go in display mode. So if you see the Y1, right? We are using this number range. The next number will be used as a 20004. There are buffering number range buffering is there. So system is allocating using the buffering spaces and allocating the next number. So the next number, current number will be created as a 20004 like that. You got it? How this vendor configuration will be done? So same configuration, whatever we done for the vendor master. So same configuration will apply for the customer master. Okay. Any question, any queries on this one? Vendor master configuration, number range assignment, field selection related vendor, vendor account groups. Is the idea clear for the vendor master?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, Mohan.
So whatever we have learned, that is a basic information. So in
Yes,
tomorrow's
Mommy.
class, we will discuss more on the vendor masters. What are the different configurations we have on the vendor masters, right? And how the external number ranges are working. That is also we are going to learn in tomorrow's class. Okay. Apart from that, I'll just show you one document which we prepared.
Before go to the document, I just want
Yes.
question about. This comes on this screen.
Sorry, your voice is breaking. Hello.
Yes, vendor display screen. XK03.
Okay.
And
I'll go.
our the vendor what we created, just open that page.
Okay. I'll go to the SK03. I'll select all the tabs. Okay.
The search term is
Yes.
selected as our list. Is there any possibility that we can get some name into search term without entering that information?
Okay, so you are saying that the search term should follow the same information here, right? Whatever we have provided.
Not all, but few part.
Few part
The
means-
first name is Praveen.
Yes.
That Praveen needs to be first.
So in that case,
Or,
at the time of creations, we have to update that information here in search term.
But it's on display mode, so we cannot.
Yes, we cannot. So in that case, that should be an optional mode, and we have to enter that information while creation. So for example,
It will
I'll
not be
go to-
autofill. It will not be autofill.
It can
needs
be
to
autofill. It can be autofill, but we need to do some programming. Standard, it will not be possible. We have to use some logic there. You got it?
Okay. Yes.
So through ABAP point of view, we can put some logic and we can fill that information. So for example, now ZGOD. Okay. If I'm creating any vendors, for example, let me put Sachin. Okay. So I can put that information, Sachin information here. Okay. And I can create the vendor. Let me save it. So I created this vendor. Now when I'm displaying this vendor, this information can be shown here as a search term. But at the time of creations, I have filled this information. Now, if you don't want that this is in display mode, okay, this field is in display mode while creation, and you want that whatever vendor name information you are creating, the same information should be displayed as a search term, or the first name should be displayed as a search term. In that case, we can apply a logic with the help of ABAP, and we can achieve that. That is possible, but some extra enhancement we need to do it here. Got it? Nine.
Yes.
Okay. So in tomorrow's class, what we are going to see, we'll create one more account group with external number range. Okay, we'll try to test that one with external number range. After that one, we will see the different configuration based on the transaction code, based on the company code, how the field selection can be applied. That also we are going to learn. Okay, and then we can start with the material master related topic. Okay, so this we are going to cover tomorrow, and we will start with the material master in our tomorrow's class. I hope whatever we have learned today, that is understandable, and you followed this all the points. Any question, any queries, feel free to ask. I will show you one of the document, that is master data. This document was prepared by me previously. Okay. So I'm going to upload this document today. These are very easy topics, initial topics. The organization structure and the master data are the easy topics. Okay, the exact challenge, or what we can say, the main activities are going to be start from procurement. So when we start the procurement, then you will realize why we have created vendor, why we have created the materials, why we have configured the organization structure.